Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant Edge VTF here at T3 Live with this week's market breakdown video for you. And as you can see, SPY tight, knuckle tight range here after the knuckle tight range broadening formation series here. You can see that. Here's the big Brexit broadening formation, then the tighter one, and then now the even tighter. And so if we take that down, if we look at the weekly real quick, you're going to see an outside week. And what that tells me, once again, fractal triangle, because it took out both sides. And so when we go down to the 60, you're going to see the series looking like this. Here, this down here, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, and now this most recent one, higher high, lower low, bam, 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 and now right back in the middle. So we got to take out either side of this of last week and then stay out there. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, if you go QQQ, same type of deal, although QQQ on the weekly was too strong to take out the previous week's lows. That's a slight positive because these things are staying slightly positive green on the month. So they're trying to work their way up. If we get an Apple, everybody's old buddy, old pal. Still on this monthly, we've talked about this for a while, although coming up a little bit, trying to take out this series of lower highs. And so here's this outside bar. Once again, that's the fractal triangle. It took it out to the downside and then comes back up. That's good. So the hopes is you can come and at least test through there. Just don't have any actionable signals on it, but certainly been doing the waka waka like this. And here you can see this slight higher high stuff up in there. So we'll look for actionable signals, but like a lot of things here, we don't have it, and we have just tight range in here, but still walking up since the gap. So so far so good. Just not much to go on. If we go to the small cappers still going here too, and you got this small daily hammer in here, but and you can see gradually walking up just like everything else. Here is a higher series than that, and so still walking up here. Just don't have any actionable signals, but once again, we're watching that monthly, and it took that stuff out. So the only thing left up here is to try and take a shot at the highs. We just don't have an actionable signal to do it right now. Go to TLT bonds. And the bond's cooking an inside month and going inside week. And so just like the financials, we're seeing anything that has interest rate sensitive on it and a bit of a holding pattern, waiting for jobless claims per chance. But you do have an inside week. It's still an inside month, but we'll see either side of that inside week for TLT. If we go to the SVXY, VIX products, you got yourself a weekly momentum hammer here on the highs and presently still inside month and up. And so if you think the VXX and the UVXY can't go any lower, this is what it would look like. Ew. So right here, still doing the walk lower, and but SVXY, a little bit easier to see on that. So we'll see how that goes. And starting off as an inside day. So inside day to try and trigger that hammer to reconfirm the monthly up and try and keep ripping here. Because that big triangle, remember this thing, here. If we can get the sexy all the way back up there, it'd be nice. All right, if we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds. Dow Jones Diamonds, similar as well. Here, if you go to the daily, here, you can see this higher high and lower low triangle series in there. And once again, on the weekly, you have your outside week. So we got to get outside of there and stay there. You got Cisco doing a little like a lot of things. The tight broadening formation here and starting off as an inside day. On the weekly, it's trying to get outside of all this stuff here. This. Bam, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, and now trying to get through here and hold up on all this stuff. So comes down and hits the triangle up in here, but you can keep an eye on this slight higher high and slight lower low on the daily here to start off. Inside day to try and get out here. You can see this triangle series in here, all this kind of stuff. So it came down right to where it oughta, and now it goes inside day. If we go to Disney, Piggy, Disney going inside week, and the problem with that is inside week to the downside would reconfirm this monthly break to the downside, inside month to the downside, so be aware of that. And Disney, oops, like so. There's your inside month with the inside week combination potential. You've got McDonald's, yeesh. McDonald's monthly momentum shooter to the downside and below it, and they took care of business on Friday. Remember the weekly, we're looking at this down, corrective activity, and then measured move, which would still give it some more downside. But on the daily, you are going, it was nice inside day there, And that's so that inside day on Friday reconfirmed the shooter down for the month, and then almost anything you could find intraday would give you a third one. But on the daily, you are coming into the lower low, so that's always a concern as an exhaustion as you start taking these lows out. But we'll look for more continuation patterns there. If you got mini mines, Z triple M going inside week. Up in here and still hanging around the highs after getting through all this stuff. So inside week for mini mines. Procter & Gamble here trying to go momentum hammer on the highs, and we've been watching this for a while because of that XLP strength and how this still has the room on the monthly to go test the highs, and just big broadening formation here, and it's still continuing right now. And you can see if this weekly can get momentum hammer can get Procter going, because the XLP itself is stalled out a touch right in here, and right now looking like an inside month. So Procter's starting to pick up some steam against that. If we go to transports, and the transports, I believe, just missed the inside week here. But you can see this tight range in here. The good thing is we already have this aberration down and now holding back into this stuff. So we want to see if we can get that going. If you go to the daily, you're going to see this. Once again, the pullback, the inside day, then the momentum hammer to get out of that stuff. And so here's this big triangle series. And you already got the Brexit down here with the inside day to the upside. So the question would be strong enough to take this back up and test this or that. No actionable signals right now. We do have American Airlines here stuck in this 3-day inside range, 3 days completely within that bar. And we'll see if we can get out of that, see if we triangle them out down in here. So this series here, you can see the 3 lower lows like that. Now the slight higher high stuff in here. So really need to try and get out of this range like that. In the bigger scheme of things, in the monthly, setting up potential monthly hammer, it still needs to take out this series here, but you did get this wipe out here. That's good. Take them all out right like that, starting to motor up. So watching that tight range there, you've got Southwest Air still in a little bit of trouble. They've got inside month and down as of right now here, and so as long as that condition exists, we will certainly be aware of anything sell signals. Once again, tight range stuff in here, which gives you a real tight, small weekly momentum shooter to try and take that, retake that monthly if we start to sell off. If you go to United Airlines reaches the neutrality of the inside week, and so hopefully that can tell us what's going on, albeit still late in the month and a doji on the month and looking like an inside month, so we want to be aware of that. If we go to Choo-Choo's, Union Pac still trying to take all this stuff out and walking up. If we go to, it starts off as an inside day to try and take out these highs, and on the weekly you're going to see this. Right, like that. We'll see if we can get that inside day to start chugging up towards that stuff. You go to CSX. CSX goes, thought that was an inside week, but it's not. So CSX just needs to get out of all this stuff. All these weeks are completely within this bar's range, and so which gives you an inside month for right now. But if we go tight triangle stuff again on the daily, you'll see it needs to get out of here. They got them good down in here. They got them like this. Now I want to see if we can get out of this triangle range here. You've got CP Rail. CP Rail inside day, and last week worked, goes inside week and up. That's nice here, trying to get back and take out all this stuff. So just starting off as an inside day there at CP. You got FedEx still trying to come up on this stuff with the inside month and up here, and still inside month and up. That's good. That's still in force, and that's why I talked about on Friday we can grab the momentum hammer here. That's an actionable signal momentum hammer with the inside month and full time frame continuity. There's no reason to believe it wasn't going to work, and it did. If we go to UPS goes inside week here, and so we'll see how the UPS and the FedEx fare as UPS continues to take this triangle and trying to expand it and get through and get out of there and get to new highs. All right, if we go to the Utes not doing too much, and they've pulled back as the risk on factor still on for other things. It's just a garden variety pullback within this uptrend, just not seeing too much to do in here. As you can see, it's getting a little chops. Suey in here, goes down, comes up, goes right back in the middle of this range. Nowhere near taking that nor that out. But the REITs are a little bit more interesting. VNQ has finally been coming in a bit, with a lot of this the defensive names, and so it comes in like that. So if we take a look at DLR, our old buddy, remember what a ripper this thing was. Now it's going inside week here to see if this can resume back up or is just going to continue its slide. If we go to triple N, you can see the slight higher high, slight lower low, and that's going to give you a triangle like this to keep an eye on right in here. How do we get out of that? If we go to PSA is still inside month and down here. So we'll see if there's any more retracing of all this. You can see you can come into something like this and still be within a general uptrend, albeit painful if ye long. If you go to VNO read also an inside week to keep an eye on there. So we'll see how that goes. All right, if we go to the XME, we got a little bit of a shooter here on the weekly, and here we went the inside week up in here and drop back in, and now a little bit of a shooter on the monthly here. You'll see this. Had the nice up inside month and go, and now still an inside month and backing off. So a little consolidation back off month so far. If you go to gold's still cooking an inside month as well here, and gold does go inside in the week though. So we'll pay attention to this inside week here for gold and see how it can get out of this range if it can and make any major moves. If you go to silver up in here. And silver had that weekly shooter and back off just a touch, but you can see here how this is looking up in here. Higher highs and lower lows, you know what that means, right? Okay, so if we go back in here, you'll see it like this on the daily. And still, for the most part, consolidating, mount up like this. So if it backs off, we'll see how it handles down in here. If we go to GDX, and here you'll see that the slight higher highs there. And the hammer, slight lower lows like that. So we can keep an eye on this stuff. Still tight, as far as what we've been used to here for the monthly and backing off in red. We're used to this kind of stuff, but we're not getting that right now. You do have the slight higher high off of this stuff. So when the month ends, we can go off of there, and you'll have that triangle there to see if you can get out of it or if it drops back in. If we go to GG gonna be an inside week, so we can pay attention to that. You got RGLD if they start running here as a RevStrat week. Hammer counters inside bar. If we go to steel, SLX goes inside week, and we've been seeing like the new core backing off like this, coming off the highs and doing the little bit of a plunger like that. Still would be an inside month, but it's back off and it's red, as you can see, like letter X. Still both be inside months. But you go to Reliance Steel RS, does have this shooter that it's taken out on the monthly, and so then it goes weekly shooter here. So we want to see if that can continue and start taking maybe something this outside bar out. If we see some weakness over there, if we go to copper SCCO, drying up into nothing, inside. And look at the monthly. Here, doji month inside, but TCK on the other hand, still coming up here, albeit doji on the month, but now going inside week here to see if this series she wants to drop back into something like that, or if it's time to accelerate. FCX goes inside week here too, and you can see still stuck in the most part of this stuff here. The monthly is the problem. 1, 2, 3, 4 months completely in this bar's range. So eventually that's good, but we'll see how it handles the inside week first. If we go to CNX got that same pattern here, inside and red, but starting off as an inside week. See if the comeback trail is reached its peak for now. Inside week for CNX. ATI goes RevStrat week potentially to the downside. We'll see how that goes. If we go to the financials, okay, drying up into nothing in the last week. Financials, inside week for FAS, inside week for XLF, inside week for KRE. The good part is they're all inside month and up still. And so if we can get this weekly, monthly combos in these financials, that would be very, very good. You got JP Morgan, the juice, inside week, potential monthly combination. You got daily here, not quite inside, so it's not a RevStrat, but it'd be momentum hammer. So it would be hammer weekly and monthly if we can get that thing going. You got Bank of America still hanging near the highs on the inside month break. Here, no inside month no inside week for you, too strong. Wells Fargo is still inside month and has the inside week to try and break it. here. So that could potentially be good there. If we go to BBT here, inside week, not an inside month, but an inside week there for the more regional stuff. BK is also inside week and still would need to re-break this month here. So we keep an eye on all these financials. If we go to Northern Trust Regional Bank, there's your monthly, would need to re-break off the weekly. PNC, same deal. Okay, and the little guys like FitB and all that same deal. They're all lining up the same. FitB is still inside month and up right now. If we go to STI, STI is inside week and has yet to break the month here. So what that tells me, if we start to fail, this is where I'd start to go, because it's not strong enough to take out that inside month when everything else did. All right, if we go to MetLife. MetLife tried to take the month, but 2-month inside pattern there and going inside week. So if we go to Pru inside week and a little bit better, because if it does go to the upside, you'd have the monthly inside month break and week break combination. Go to Viser. Viser still inside month and up, just kind of sitting here doing nothing, but we'll respect that. Anytime it's inside month and up and has full time frame counting the upside, we'll look for additional actionable signals. Capital One has not broken the inside month as of yet, so once again, as of now, this stuff like STI and Capital One are the ones that are going to reconfirm or negate this rally. If we go to Goldman Sachs, still green on the month. That's good. Just needs to put in some sort of higher high, and if you go to the weekly, you're going to see this, and we'd be shooting for something about 170 if we can get an actionable signal up in there. Right now, just walking up to even tighter stuff like this. Go to American Express. American Express, daily rev strat, inside day countered with hammer, inside week. If we can take that to the upside and reconfirm that inside month break. All right, if we go to crude oil, UWTI here, still walking back up this business, and it had all this stuff down in here. If we get a USO, sometimes you can see it a little more clearly on the weekly because it's here, and you see came down and makes the lower lows off of this, which would still be a higher series, and it's still going as of right now. Interesting stuff with the XLE going inside day, first of all. And you get the higher triangle series hitting this because this is higher than that. So lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, but higher than that, and that leads to all this stuff. But inside day for XLE, and it is Rev Strat month 1 bar here. And if you go to XOP, XOP does the same, and it also goes inside day. And on the weekly, we got a little bit more. If we can get it up into this stuff, that'd be real nice. Trying to get out of this business in here. OIH. Here, also an inside day. Here. And on the monthly, still needs to rev strat here. Still needs to take out that 30-15 or so. Right now, somewhat lagging, or can reconfirm if we can start taking that stuff out. If you go to Chever, remember, came down, got hit, and then hello inside month, and then retested it, then hello inside month and up. And now just stuck in here, which is real tight stuff. If you go to the weekly, you'll see this triangle here. The inside week calls the high and then drops back. Slight lower low off of that, hammers. And so just right back in the middle of that stuff, you get an Exxon. And Exxon still triangled out of this after the earnings. So been underperforming, at least in this leg of it. You can see this triangle needed to grow. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, bam, bam. And that was all she wrote. So having some problems with this 89 area. No actionable signal right now. If we go to EOG inside day and trying to get out of this stuff, and that would be momentum hammer weekly here, and that would reconfirm. Was that not quite inside? Let me see. That was not quite inside, so it's not reconfirming it, but you can see bright green on the month, and that's good. So we'll watch the inside day momentum hammer potential combination there. FANG, the Fanger. There's your rev strat month to the highs and still going and starting off as a momentum hammer daily to keep her going. If we go to GPOR, this one's been underperforming as well. However, now you've got the rev strat week, inside week countered with hammer after taking out some slight lower lows. So certainly would pay attention to that. If we go to Murphy Earl, and the Murph, somewhat underperforming as you can see here. On the monthly, it's not taking out highs like a lot of these other things, but it made the lower low and now coming back up. So if we take a look at the tighter stuff, you'll see how this hammer took that out. And the question is, can we try and go back up like so on the daily? And you got an inside day to start off, like so. If you go to Noble Energy, NBL, once again, this thing took some deeper cuts down here, but now trying to come back and break this lower high series, and still has yet to rev strat the month. It took the inside month down and comes back in. So we'll see if it's going to be strong enough to break through that or set up for next month, like so. If we go to Oxy, and Oxy still needs to take the rev strat month back to the upside, and it got a little help last week by going inside week and up off the bottom of the triangle here. That's good. And so on the daily, you'll see the triangle looking like this. Like that. All right, if we go to PXD putting on a clinic, and these are the kind of things you want to look for when you have something like the XLE and the XOP rev stratting. When you look at the things that have the clean monthly break to the upside, that's really where you want it to be, because that's what that means is that when the rest of the broader sector oils took out last month's lows, these things were too strong to do that. All right, so PXD, one of them, still going as of right now. You got XEC did it as well here, straight up, and now XEC starting off momentum hammer weekly to see if we can keep it going. Go to Halliburton. Halliburton's getting the job done here on the outside month, like this. Here, the rev strat outside month, so it's getting the job done as of right now. Slob here wasn't inside, just coming up, drifting and walking, and right now inside day to start off like almost everything in this sector. Baker Hughes was the one though, because Baker Hughes was too strong on the monthly to take out last month's lows, and that's why you can see these bigger, longer, greener, tougher bars. Baker Hughes is very nice here. It was a weekly, monthly combo, if you might recall right there. If we go to Helmerich Payne, HP, and this thing still has some room here, trying to get through this stuff. You got an inside day to start off, like everything else. We'll see how all these inside days go. You've got an OV inside day and still trying to come up. And remember on this thing, this monthly, still trying to get out of all this business, and it took quite the beating. But now you got another inside day there for NOV. If we go to Rowan Drilling, RDC, what's the matter with these guys? You got the potential rev strat up in the OIH, and this thing, pig, inside weak momentum shooter to the downside potential, inside weak, and or it can try and go back up and finally join the party if oil keeps going, because it would look like this: higher highs and your lower lows, like so. All right. If we go to WFT Weatherford, here's another piggy that on the monthly is trying to rev strat as well. Went down, took the inside, and comes back up 3 bars completely within that pattern. And so if you go to the tight triangle business on this thing, you're going to see this inside day here to try and get out of this stuff. If we go to refiners, HFC inside week here. You've got PSX as an inside week. MPC inside week. Valero, not inside, was too strong. In a monthly hammer still. And WNR, inside month and up, and now going inside week potential combination. Go to Natty, UNG, Natty Gas, inside week there. RRC, inside week there for the Natties. Let's see, WMB on the comeback trail here, and now going inside day after this big spiker to see if we can get outside of that thing. And this baby, CWEI, I talked about this a while back, and I said I would keep an eye on this thing because of the volatility. And boy, she took care of business off this inside week, I tell you what. 30 come 70. So right now just starting off as an inside day, but certainly one to keep an eye on for some action. Look at this. Nice. All right, if we go to XRT Retail. So far, the comeback continues, and the XRT still triangling them out like this. You can see the series here, taking them out. Outside bar. Trying to walk up all this stuff here. like that. They got them good down in here. Inside day calls the low, but right now on the monthly, still got a bunch of this stuff, lower highs here to take care of, and trying to go monthly hammer and take a shot up into this stuff. But let's see, a lot of individual stuff over there. You got a Costco. Costco's still just hanging near the highs and going inside weak. Try and propel it into new highs and take all this stuff out. So inside week for Costco, but you can see how really tight some of this stuff has been with the SPY doing nothing. Look at this. But now you got your inside week, so hopefully that equilibrium can get her going. You go to Target. No! Target, big outside week to the downside puker. So all that monthly stuff tried to take care of. Here, that inside month and up last month, but you can see 3 bars completely within this bar's range. That's got to change. You got to get outside of this thing, and that's so far taken some doing, so not too much going on there. Go to the Walmart, and the Walmart, there goes your outside month, outside week here, and you know what that's going to do. Right here, just keep an eye on this thing. A little rough in here for the old Walmart on the outside week. If you go to some of the just cruisers, Burlington Coat Factory still going, and can remember how nice this was. Yeah, right here, and you go the monthly. You remember this monthly outside momentum hammer here, and that really just took care of business. So right now, just in the stratosphere, kind of like Ulta Salon. See ya. So right now, this is just strong, straight Momo, and you can look for shorter term stuff. DLTH, dilute, also inside month and up into new highs and going inside day. Burritos, on the other hand, Burritos close to going inside month and down to see if we can expand this stuff. So the old burritos still having a real tough time, and for the fader in you had the nice inside weaker here, and that was all she wrote so far. So watching for that monthly break and see how medieval they want to get on that thing. Coors purses. The purses goes inside weak, and so still trying to get up through all this stuff, and but just starting off as an inside week, and at least this is higher than that, and trying to walk back up. So inside week for Coors. Lulu goes momentum hammer on the highs here, and trying to complete the monthly here, the lower lows and the higher highs, and still just screaming along. So we'll see if the momentum hammer can keep her going. Lulu Bell. If you go to Phillips Van Heusen, here you can see his inside month and up, that we like that. So it's still trying to come up and break this series of lower highs. You got your big aberration, your hammer. Tried to rev strat and then backed off and then went inside month again to give you that. And so if you look similar to RL, it's trying to come off all these lows here too as well. And RL going real tight here. The inside week right there, so you can go up sideways measured move off of that baby. That would be real nice. If we go to RH, Restoration Hardware, all you had to do was wait for the inside month finally. And there's your inside month and up for RH right now. Let's see if there's any more follow through to that. Tiffany's inside month and up there. Whole Foods having some issues here, and Whole Foods close to that inside month of the downside break. So if you go to the daily, you're going to see this. It's going to set up as a slight rev strat. Inside bar countered with shooter in here, trying to expand this tighter range here, like so. Higher highs, lower lows. So we'll see if that rev strat can trigger that month and get her puking. All right, if we go to the IBB goes inside weak here, trying to see if it can expand this and start taking a shot at all this stuff, or going to drop back in. So if we go to Celgene was slightly weakened down but closes back in, so would be a rev strat if we can take this out to the upside. On the weekly, you can see some of this range stuff is really tight though, and it's still doji on the month would be another problem here, but we'll see how that goes. We go to GILD, Piggy, and GILD takes out the slight lower low here, tight range, and if you go to the weekly here, you'll see these tight 3 weeks in here. The good thing is it's above that, all right? And so it's trying to do a higher series after this outside bar took that to the downside. So obviously it would be trouble if you start coming through that stuff, but right now you got that slight lower low in there to see if it can start creeping back. And on the daily, you'll see this inside day, your lower lows, your higher high right in here to see how it acts and getting out of there. If we go to BIIB a little better on daily and up, and it is inside month and up here for right now, so it's holding a little better. The problem was that big weekly launch pad, and went inside week and up and just kind of sits here, but this 2 bar pattern, you got to get out of this, and therein lies the problem. If you go to the daily, all this stuff is within this day's range. You got to get out of that somehow. So a little tricky in there. If we go to Regeneron having a rough time, and Regeneron did beautiful weekly with the higher highs, the lower lows, and the higher highs, and now coming right back into that range. So it's not much to see here as of right now. Goes up and then drops back into this thing, so we'll see if we can set anything up. If we go to Amgen a little better, but the problemo still is this doji month stuff and doing nothing. So we just want to be aware of that as you get later into the month. If we go to ACAD here, outside month, so you'd want to get out of that, but you do have an inside week here. Inside week to start off with the IBB. You've got ALNY, still slightly inside month and up, and an inside day to start off. Here, Alexion, starting off as inside week here, and if you can break to the upside, would be a re-break of the month. Go to BMRN. BMRN, just another tight inside week here to keep an eye on. So downside was measured move or hold and try and go back up. EGRX, presently still inside month and up. Jazz Farm. See the Jazz Farm trying to take the inside month to the downside, but 2 months completely in that range. So you just want to be aware of that. And you've got a little bit of the weekly shooter here. If it wants to come down and test this stuff again, there was that nice inside week right there. If we go to Kite. Kite would be RevStrat downside weekly if it wants to pull back into this range. Inside week countered with shooter. MNK went slightly inside week and up. You can see this stuff here, and just trying to see if it can pick some steam and get out of there, because when you get later in the month, you really just want to see from bright green month. So far she's going, just took that stuff out. So we'll look for further confirmation on that thing. If we go to Perigo trying to go rough strat month, and but we got some trading to do. And if you go to the daily, you see how it took out the slight lower low stuff down here. The question, can it get all the way back up into here? And I'll show you how big that looks if you take it out a little bit. Here, you still would have the lower high series there, but to start off the week, you are inside week. Go to Rare, R-A-R-E, inside week there as well, and this would be a weekly monthly combo as well. Get her going. There's your lower lows. Now there's your inside week, and then here's your inside month. Be a combination trying to now still be in this bar's range pretty handily, but combo's a combo. If we go to UTHR, also an inside week trying to expand the recent range here, and you'll see this. Outside bar, off the lows, and now trying to expand this stuff. He took out this, that's good. Now you got all these things here, so we'll see how that inside week goes there. VRX, our old buddy, still inside month and up here, and the hopes is that was it. You can triangle all these guys and take them all the way up, and that's quite a move from here. But we'll see how that goes. We got a XON. XON with the RevStrat month, or inside month, and pokes down, comes back up, and goes RevStrat month to the upside. And an inside week to reconfirm or negate that. And you got a little RevStrat day potential to the upside, trying to get outside of this business in here. Good attack. XLK still chugging along, kind of like the Qs. It's a little upper level tight triangle like these. If you go to semiconductors, SMH, different story. SMH leading the charge here on the monthly. And that's why you start looking at these months like this, and Momo Hammer monthly and gone. And now just, anytime you're going to new highs, you get worried about exhaustion, and that's certainly possible. That's why we look for reconfirmations of all that stuff. Let's go to the finger stocks for you. Facebook doing nothing inside month, and Doji at that. And so last week, it went slight RevStrat down, but it's still completely within this bar's range. 3 weeks of that. So inside month cooking hard in the Facebook. If you go to Netflix, also cooking inside month here, but at least slightly green and not a doji. And you do have that 2 week pattern here of inside to get out of. So you can either reconfirm these things by taking them out or dropping back in, and you got inside day to start off Monday. The Googster. The Goog, you can see this business in here has kind of done what it's going to do for a while. I mean, it did take out this bar on both sides, so it's right now just consolidating. I got nothing in the gigs. Sitting up here at the top of the triangle. How are we going to get out of there? If we go to Amazon, and Amazon finally dropped in a little bit, and on Friday was inside day and down. Here, the question is how far is it going to take this outside bar down into this stuff? How weak will it get? I don't have an actionable signal, and it is still a monthly doge. How about if we go to Priceline, though? And there you go, inside month and up, and went 1 bar rev strat weekly here, and still inside month and up in the Priceline. Go to Adobe. Adobe inside week here near the highs, and that would be a monthly weekly combo. Here, Adobe. Go to Cyber. Cyber cooking that monthly Momo hammer, but right now might be too strong. We'll see. We got the inside week here, so you just stick with the Cyber stuff. You got Palo Alto still trying to take that inside month as well, and then you see these here. Hammer, hammer, hammer inside to try and get out of this stuff. Spelunker with that stuff going weekly Momo hammer if they want to really get her going. If we go to Triple D goes inside week, and so maybe trying to expand this and take a shot back up into here, or try and go back down and get crushed again. Also, it can start off like this on the daily. Here you do got an inside day, inside week combination potential. Maxim in the semis, stuck in this range, and now rev strat week. Here, inside week countered with hammer, albeit 2 bars completely in that, and all 3 inside of that. But you do have rev strat week and bullish engulfing day. Nvidia, the king, would be rev strat day to the downside if it comes back down, or just keep cruising, baby, and you get your momentum weekly hammer if it wants to just keep going. And that monthly is really something to behold, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Here we go to NXPI semi. And NXPI is yet to take the inside month. So certainly would want to be paying attention to that level right in there to see if we can get that going. If we go to OLED, big outside month. That's going to need to change, but you do start off with here inside week, and that outside week. You can see this. You can see this triangle like this, and so the hopes is this baby can triangle right back up and take care of business. But inside week right now. If we go to Yelpster, the Yelpster with the weekly Momo hammer, and here she comes. And you'll remember the Yelpster was nice off the monthly. Right here, inside month gives you 21.89. Yeah, we'll take that. So trying to expand that using the Momo hammer on the weekly. Yahoo, same deal. Momo hammer on the highs, trying to get out of that stuff. Remember how tight this business is. So this one drove them nuts, and then it finally broke out by going inside week. And see you later. Okay, if we go to just a few more, BDX. BDX here would be a rev strat week here near the highs, trying to take it into the highs, and see the daily triangle like this. Got him, but good down in here she did. Whee. Slight higher highs, and now rev strat weaker. CXW inside day for this baby. She's still a hot potato to see if they're going out of business with the Geo. So I want to see how those inside days play out. Obviously, those big ranges are going to be tough to take out unless they go to 0, but we'll see. Some of the chems looking coming around here. Grace Chem, GRA had a nice one on Friday with the inside day and up ripper, and what that sets up here is the weekly rev strat inside week countered that stuff, and potentially monthly combo here if we can take the inside month to the upside. LYB, another here, still inside of the month, to see if we can break through that. If these things all start to stay strong in the defense, you got Mondelez, rev strat week here, hammer counters inside bar. Go to UHS. And UHS, when inside week and down, the question is this going to be the bottom of the triangle here and try and pop back up, because it starts off as rev strat day, inside day counter. Go to VECO, VECO. here. This thing trying to come off the lows, still inside month. Is that inside month, right? Nope. Never mind. But you do have an inside week, I believe, in this thing. Yes, you do. And Ben, Franklin Resources, forget about this. This thing trying to come up on the monthly as well with those financial stuff here, and it's quite a ways down. So that's always good if we start to recover. And finally, Tesla, 2 month inside pattern. Got to get out of this thing, and it gapped up. So the potential being bearish engulfing didn't do it, and now just sitting here doing nothing in the middle of this range. That's a problem. If you go to the daily, you're gonna see this inside day for Tesla to start the week, but really you got to get out of all that stuff. So, all right, so it should be interesting here. Certainly, the combinations in the financials and how these oils act with all these rev strat stuff like that. So we're just going to stay on it. IBB inside week, a lot of inside weeks to still need to break, and then they got to continue to reconfirm, because otherwise we just get chopped up in this slight higher high, slight lower low business here in the SPY. So hopefully we can get these broader averages moving. All right, that's going to do it for this week. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant Edge VTF here, T3 Live.